Hello, my name's Sam. Welcome to my channel. It's almost January. I saw Emma with Drinking Around My Shelf do this with favorites, and Meg with books do this with favorites and least favorites. So I thought it would be fun to do it with my least favorites. Just like a little kind of like tournament between like my lowest rated books. So most of these are 2 stars, but I didn't have enough, so I have some 3 stars in here as well. I find that I don't actually really rate books super lowly, which I guess is a good thing. I don't really know why I'm complaining about it, but sometimes I feel like I rate books too highly and I'm not super critical. I can usually pick out at least something that I really like, and then it's not until later when I'm kind of thinking about it again that only the things that really annoyed me like stood out. So usually to get a really low rating, you have to do something, the book has to do something to like actively piss me off. So hopefully I can do this fast because I feel like I'm still new to editing, and I feel like editing this with the like split screen, like the screen recording will be difficult and annoying. So we will see. Okay, so let's ignore the fact that Neon Gods, the title is in a different language, because I did that and then I realized that I did that, and then I got the one that was in English, and then I uploaded the wrong one, and I'm too lazy right now to change it. So Neon Gods is about it's just a modern romance retelling of Persephone and Hades. Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata is about a woman in her, I think late 30s and in Japan, and she works at this convenience store, and friends and family around her trying to encourage her to do more with her life, but she is just happy just working at the convenience store, and it's kind of about like conformity, non-conformity. Poster Girl by Veronica Roth. This is a dystopian about this girl named Sonia who is a part of this government, and they monitored everyone with everyone was supposed to have like an insert in their eye called an insight, and they monitored everyone's actions and would give or take away points based on that. And then there was a revolution and everyone in that government went to jail. Fina by Nino Cipri. This one is another sci-fi. It's about this kind of like IKEA-esque store, and these 2 employees who have just gotten out of a relationship with each other are tasked with finding a customer's grandma who has gone through a wormhole, and they basically go through these wormholes through other stores, and they're looking for this woman. Okay, Unfollow by Megan Phelps Roper. I literally just finished this like right before I started filming this, and I have been reading it forever. So this is a memoir about Megan, who was a part of the Westboro Baptist Church, and it was about her being in the church and then leaving the church. And basically the church is known for like picketing funerals and like tragic events and all that stuff, whatever that means. Okay, and then On Rotation. This one is a romance between a resident, like a medical resident, and a guy. I think he's an artist. I honestly can't really remember too much about this one. So moving on. Okay, I Want to Die, but I Want to Eat Tteokbokki. This is a memoir. It's honestly really just transcripts from her therapy sessions, basically. Okay, Dune. We know what Dune is. I don't need to explain Dune. Sci-fi classic. Paul and his family leave their planet for a dust planet for reasons I can't remember. Okay, so next is Alina Knows. This one is about an older woman who has Parkinson's, and her daughter dies. It's deemed that she took her own life, but Alina is convinced that she was murdered. So it just follows her I think just over the course of one day, where she's traveling from her home to this other woman's house who she thinks will want to help her solve her daughter's murder. Okay, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Another one that I don't need to explain, but that I probably still will. Again, sci-fi classic. Maybe, okay, there's like 4. Maybe I just like don't like sci-fi. Another sci-fi classic follows, what is his name, Arthur? Follows Arthur, who is trying to stop his house from being demolished. And then his friend like comes over and is like, hey, I'm actually an alien, and the world is about to end. Come hang out with me. We can go through the galaxy and see other planets. And that's what they do. All right, next is Atonement by Ian McEwan. Another classic. So maybe I should stop reading classics and I should stop reading sci-fi. So this one is about a young girl who sees her sister and a family friend of theirs have an exchange by a fountain, and she spins a tale about it. Her imagination runs wild, and she tells a lie that has consequences that she won't realize until she's an old lady with a fully developed frontal lobe. Okay, and then Detransition Baby by Tori Peters. This one is about a queer couple who, 2 transgender women, and then one of them detransitions, and then he gets someone pregnant. He wants to still be involved and be a father, but he thinks that with being a part of the transgender community, it would be easiest for him to do that and be a father if he has the support of the transgender community involved in the raising of the child. Okay, The Wonder by Emma Donoghue. This is a historical fiction. It takes place, I think, in like the 1800s in Ireland, and it's about a girl who claims that she is not eating, and she's just basically being sustained by God. She's a miracle by God. And it's about a nurse that is tasked with watching her to basically see if she's a fraud or not. Okay, last 2, The Proposal. This one is a romance. Again, I cannot remember much about this one. I think she gets proposed to at like a baseball game, and says no, and then it's like a big drama, and so then this guy who's there, he saves her, and then it's a romance between them. Okay, and lastly, The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. Dark Academia follows 6 people who are chosen for this academy, but only 5 will make it. One of them is supposed to die, allegedly. They all have special skills, magic, something. Okay, that took way too long. Moving on, okay, first round. Neon Gods versus Convenience Store Woman. So Neon Gods was 75% smut and no plot. Like, it was literally, she runs away, she's now in with Hades, and then they literally just have a bunch of sex and there's no plot. Just read fanfic. And then Convenience Store Woman, I realized that this one is, you know, rooted in Japanese culture and norms. So a lot of it would be somewhat lost on me, which is no fault of the book. I just didn't really find it super memorable. I just went back and was reading kind of like reviews on it and the synopsis, and like I don't have anything really that sticks out that's super, I remember being super like negative about the book. I just think that it just felt like a story. Like, it was just following her working at this convenience store and like trying to conform. And also I think it's not actually specifically said, but I think it's pretty clear that it's a neurodivergent character. So it's just basically following her, kind of just going through her day-to-day, just like living her life, following other like social norms, basically being encouraged to do other things with her life. And then she realizes that she's just kind of happy doing what she's always been doing. So honestly, this one didn't really do anything, you know, that I found super annoying or problematic or terrible. So for that reason, I'm gonna put forward the all smut, no plot fanfic. Okay, Poster Girl and Fina. Honestly, Poster Girl was perfectly fine. Like it was, I think both of these, I honestly can't remember, but both of these might have been 3 stars. Poster Girl, yeah, it was a book. I honestly can't remember like anything that happened in this book other than just that it was perfectly fine. Fina is opposite. I can actually remember a lot of the things that did happen and like the little worlds that they went through these like little wormholes. Yeah, I honestly can't even remember why I like didn't love it. I think maybe I was a little bored, or it just seemed, honestly, I don't even know. And because I can't think of a good reason, I think I will put forward Poster Girl. Yeah, Fina, I think the end too, it was following like this couple who broke up and they just like didn't, like it was clear like they didn't like each other, and then the end just didn't really make sense with them not being a couple. I'm not explaining this well at all. Okay, Unfollow. This book has absolutely drained the life out of me. So like I said, I literally finished it like before I started filming this, because for the longest time I had like 80 pages left and I just did not want to pick it back up. I had thought about DNFing it like the entire time I was reading it. Then all of my friends who that I have on Goodreads, they had all rated it like 4 and 5 stars, and you know, it's pretty highly rated. So I thought that maybe it would get better. So I didn't DNF it, and then I had like 80 pages left and I was like, okay, it would just be a waste to DNF this now. I might as well finish it. But then I never wanted to pick it up. I was also starting to do this, so I was just doing other things and I just wasn't motivated. And then I finally started reading it again last night while I was at work, and then I got to a point where I had like 2 pages left, and then I got super busy, so I couldn't finish it, so I literally just finished it before I started filming this. It's just so boring. I was just so bored the entire time. Like I didn't care. It, like the whole book was just her like and her family picketing a funeral and picketing this and holding signs that have terrible things. And I get that they're like the most hated family in America, or like that's what they were referred to as. And I can appreciate that she finally, you know, realized certain things and left, but I just didn't care. Like she's a part of this group where everyone is just shitty to everybody, and then the people in that group start then being shitty to people inside the group, and then she's surprised about it. So it was just very boring. And I also, upon finishing it, I feel like it just didn't, I mean, it just ended. Like, I get that it's a memoir and, you know, you have to stop writing it at some point, but it didn't really feel like it had a ton of closure. I mean, I guess it's real life. Like, you can't, sometimes situations don't have closure. But yeah, I was just very bored. Bored. Okay, and then on rotation, I can't really remember too much about this one. I picked it up because I follow the author on Instagram. She's a doctor and I really like her content. She makes like comics. Did a lot of things in a romance that bother me. Like the miscommunication was so bad. Like the meet cute was cute, but it could have been so much better. It was like they had this cute meet cute, and then they, you know, went to this like market, and he like, they're like acting all sweet towards each other. He like buys her a necklace, and then he's like, I have a girlfriend. We're just friends. I never liked you. Like they were so annoying the whole time. And then when they like did finally get together, you're just like, okay, like you guys are stupid. You could have done this like ages ago. And he was just like gaslighting her. Like he was like, oh, I never actually liked you. And it's like, okay, you just like led me on and like met me in a park, and then we had a really cute date, but then you like had a girlfriend. It was just annoying. But it did not annoy me as much as Unfollow did. Because I mean, I feel like it's easy for a romance to, I feel like with mysteries and thrillers, thrillers specifically and romance, I feel like with like the tropes, it's easy to have something in a thriller or in a romance that is stupid or annoying or like that you don't like. I'm not really making a very good argument. Either way, Unfollow wins. Loses? I don't know. So next up is I Want to Die, But I Want to Eat Tteokbokki versus Dune. So I don't want to diss like someone's memoir about mental health because that's super important. And I'm sure this will speak to lots of people. But it was really just her transcripts from her therapy sessions. Like it was her own personal therapy sessions, and she took those, which I'm sure were super helpful to her, but she took those and then she just put them in a book. And I don't remember them having like very many takeaways. It was just her therapy sessions in a book. But Dune, on the other hand, I think this is a case of I am too dumb for the book. This book is too smart for me. This is a big book of words. There's too many words, not enough worms. It needed more worms. More worms, less words. And this is something that I've read in other books that I realized that I hate. It's like it spends pages and pages and pages talking about something that seems so minute and small and boring. And then in the next paragraph, they're like, oh yeah, and then like these 3 people died and like we're on this part now. And it's like 10 years later and you're like, wait, what? You just spent like 7 pages talking about this like political thing or this like, I don't know. It just confused me. I didn't like it. I know this is an unpopular opinion and Dune is so popular and loved, but it's not loved by me. Elena knows. This one is tough because, again, this one has all the reviews on Goodreads are like 4 stars, 5 stars, like glowing reviews saying that the book is so smart and has really good conversations. And maybe, again, I'm just too dumb for the book. Basically, the 2 main topics in here are Parkinson's and abortion. And it's tough because I feel like the commentary on abortion was good, but the commentary on disability was awful. And yeah, it has such good reviews on Goodreads, like that it's so smart, and like that the main topics are connected because it's all about, you know, not having control over your body and, you know, having to be a caretaker when you don't want to be a caretaker. But I found like the final resolution just to be so awful towards disability. And again, maybe I just wasn't understanding or I'm not smart enough for the book. But it just, yeah, I didn't love like the final kind of like resolution that happened. Yeah, and this one too, you're just like in this woman's head like the whole day. She's trying to get across town to see this woman, and it's just her thoughts, and like some of her thoughts are awful, and it's like reminiscing about her daughter, and like a lot of her daughter's thoughts are awful. And so it just it was just hard to read, and I just didn't love the final message. And then Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This one, I feel like my opinion on this one changes like every time I think about it. Like I remember being kind of bored when I was reading it, but then like a lot of the jokes were funny and then they would get brought up again and I'd like laugh. I think there was a character named Magic Thighs. That was fun. But then other times I think about it and I'm just like, well, no, was it really good or was it not? Again, my opinion changes all the time. Right now, I feel like it was good. It was like, it's an older book. It's a classic. I feel like it did what it came to do. And I can see why it's like so widely loved. Yeah, I'm gonna move this one over. Okay, Atonement versus Detransition Baby. So again, I am too stupid for these books. Atonement completely went over my head. I remember just being so bored while I was reading it and I kind of zoning out. And so I think that's why I just completely missed the whole point of it, the whole twist of it. I think if I had realized that that was what was happening, I think I would have liked it more, but I was just very bored the whole time and I wasn't paying attention. I can't remember what happened with this one, but I had like a combo of like the ebook, the audiobook, and the physical book. And I thought, oh, I can just like rip through this on audio because it was like sucking me dry trying to like read it on paper. But then it was like the abridged version. So it was shorter. So then I remember like listening to some parts and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure that was longer in the book. And then I couldn't like get past, I didn't like the thought of like only reading it half, even though I didn't end up liking it anyways. But this is the same thing that I realized that I didn't like in Dune, where it would talk about something for pages and pages and pages. Like it had pages and pages of like the older sister like picking her outfit. But then it would be like, oh yeah, and then now we're years in the future and like this person's dead and like this happened and this happened, and that would be like a paragraph. And again, so maybe it's just a pacing issue. It was a pacing issue and it was a I was bored issue. And then Detransition Baby, again, this one's hard because it had great conversations about gender roles, misogyny, different ways to be a family, transitioning, detransitioning, violence against transgender people and the whole LGBTQ community. And yeah, I remember like some of the conversations in here were so good. But then a lot of things I found were so like contradicting. Like it would have like a good conversation and then it would like go on and have like this incredibly bad outlook from like one of the queer characters, and I remember it just like throwing me off a bit. I think the main issue for me was just that a lot of the characters were very unlikable and a lot of the conversations were very contradicting, and then the ending was so ambiguous and left you hanging, and I needed more. Like I needed to know what was happening. I don't know, this one's really hard because I feel like Detransition Baby had really good conversations at its core. But I remember being like angrier at certain things, like especially the things that were contradicting when I was reading it. But Atonement, I just like felt like a zombie while I was reading it. Like I was just so bored. Oh gosh, this one's really hard. Okay, how did I just notice that I'm missing one? Okay. Are you serious? Okay, hold on. Oh. Okay, I need to put this one in. How do I do this? Okay, I am missing one. I don't know how I didn't end up adding it in. That's really embarrassing. Okay, so I forgot this one. Okay, so My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. This one is a romance. Why am I so far back? The girl's on vacation with her brother and they find a dead body in their rental house. And then this like big burly bounty hunter shows up and he's trying to solve the case, and she just keeps inserting herself in it, as one does. Okay, I still need to pick between these two though. Okay. I'm gonna move this one. Don't ask me why though. Okay, next. The Wonder and My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. Again, this book was just very boring. So this nurse is watching this little girl, and then this nun is watching this little girl, and they're just switching off, like 8 hours on, 8 hours off, for I don't even know how long. And they're just watching her, seeing if she's eating, taking her vitals, recording her ins and outs. Did she pee? Did she poo? Did she drink water? Did she eat? No. And it just felt like the whole book, for like 75% of the book, was just her like sitting here. Ow. Was just her sitting and watching this girl, and then maybe they'd go for a walk, and then like that was it. But yeah, the pacing was just off. Like it was a cool plot, but it was just boring for a book. I haven't seen the movie, but I feel like the movie would be maybe more interesting, but I probably won't watch it. And then My Killer Vacation. So I'm not that mad at this one. I think the only reason why I rated it low is because I can just recognize that it's like not a good book. The guy is like, ew, this girl's so cute, I can't like her. And the girl is like, don't call me cute, look, I'm wearing red underwear. Like the smut was just weird. And I usually like Tessa Bailey's smut, but it was like not great in this one. Like at one point she gets like knocked out by like a library book. And I mean, some are heavy, but I mean, like, not that heavy. Yeah, I think overall this one, like, My Killer Vacation, like, it was kind of a stupid romance, but like, I had fun. It's a romance. Okay, this one is not hard at all. I'm just gonna move the Atlas 6 over. Honestly, yeah, the proposal, I don't really remember much about it. I think I just didn't like it because it had like a really stupid like third act breakup, or it was like insta-lovey. Like it was a case of it had tropes I didn't like. I've read better romances. But the Atlas 6, so pretentious. Like, let me check my notes. Yeah, I just found this book so pretentious, and like there was so much that I felt just like wasn't explained. It's like it had so many different directions that it wanted to go, but instead it went in no direction. It would mention something and then it would just stop talking about it, or it would just like forget that storyline completely. Like it could have done so much more. Like maybe these books needed to be like shorter, but like a longer series to like cover everything. And like, I mean, maybe it will be. I'm not going to read the sequel, but yeah, I don't know. I felt like nothing was explained properly. Everything was left hanging. Things would happen like 3/4 of the way in, and they would just be like, oh yeah, that's a thing too. Like that happens here. So like, yeah, the world building wasn't great. All the characters were pretentious. I feel like it had so many things about it that like could have been so great, and then it just wasn't. So that one wins. Okay, halfway there, I think. This feels like it should have been short, like it could have been short, but I feel like it's gonna end up being really long, and I didn't want it to be that long. Okay, Neon Gods and Poster Girl. I'm gonna go Neon Gods. Poster Girl was fine, Neon Gods was just stupid. Okay, oh gosh, Unfollow and Dune. Oh, this is hard. Unfollow might have just some like recency bias because I literally just finished it and it annoyed me so much. Like if I spend a really long time reading a book, I find that I usually end up really disliking it because I hate that it took me so long to finish the book. Oh, this one's hard. I'm gonna go Dune. Again, I feel like this could have been so much more. It needed to be way shorter. Like, were there not editors around in like the 60s? Is when this book came out? I don't know. Okay, we're gonna go over here. Elena Knows and Detransition Baby. Oh, why are these getting so hard? I didn't think this would be this hard. Oh, these ones I feel like they're so similar. Like they have like good topics and good conversations, like important conversations in them. I don't know. I don't want to say that they weren't done well because like this one is by like a transgender author and she obviously, you know, has better insight than I do. I'm gonna go this one. Okay, The Wonder and Atlas 6, again, not a competition. Atlas 6. Oh gosh, which is my least favorite? Oh, this is so hard. Okay. Oh wait, and then yeah. Okay, Neon Gods, Dune. It's Dune. It's Atlas 6. Like again, these ones, I'm actually surprised. I feel like if this one was in a different spot, it probably wouldn't have gone this far. Same with this one. Like there are books here that I liked least than these. Unfollow. The Wonder. Okay. I feel like I could be doing a better job of like talking through this, but that's not me. Okay, both of these books I feel like were very long. This is what they have in common. They're both super long. They both had too many words and they were pretentious. Well, the Atlas 6 is pretentious. Dune Dune I am too stupid for. The Atlas 6 was trying to make you feel like you were too stupid for it. Yeah, I'm happy with that assessment. The Atlas 6 wins. Or loses? Ta-da! All right, I don't know how to end this now. That was fun, I think. Thank you for listening to me talk for forever. Yeah, thank you for watching if you watched, and hopefully I see you again. Bye. Neon Gods. Why do I have this in a different language? Ugh. I'm so bad at giving synopses. You know, I read these books a while ago before I planned to even do this, so you get what you get.